Okay, Mr. Mill, I'm ready for my close-up. Hello, YouTube, Instagram, and all other social media sites out there. Thank you for joining me for the next 20 minutes. I am your host, Calvin Moore, and we are going to go over everything that is real estate investing. If you recall, when we stopped our last episode because we ran out of time, we were talking about return on investment. So we're going to go over that right now. We're also going to go over really quickly what we talked about in our last 3 episodes. So come on, let's just get started. So first thing first, gotta have passion. Boy, I love me some real estate. Oh, I love everything about it. I love finding the properties. I like buying the properties. I like fixing them up. I like selling them to people who need the properties. I love me some real estate, boy. What type of investor are we going to be? A flipper, landlord, or developer? I love real estate so much, I don't care what type of investor we're going to be. Flipper, landlord, or developer. But I will say this, I am going to stay focused on flipping. Not to say that if any of those other two come up, I won't invest, especially if the deal makes sense. Don't believe the hype. I am not going to get suckered into believing that these TV shows have professional investors finding properties quick within a month, selling these properties and making $1 million off of only a $2,000 investment. I'm not believing that hype. Okay, here's a budget and all the things we have to think about going into our real estate investing. Okay, and here's a picture of a property in our last episode that we drove by. And here's a picture of that same property with something that we're imagining that we could put there in its place. And here is our rehab budget in order to put that imaginary property and what it would cost to build it upon that little house. $96,480 total. Now that we recapped all previous episodes, let's look at what our return on investment might be if we chose to move forward with rebuilding that house. So the current house size and costs for that home is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house consisting of 496 square feet, and it's selling right now for $39,900, which is the equivalent of $80.44 a square foot. Now, in order to develop the house, we're looking to making it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, which will consist of approximately 1,000 square feet. And based off of our rehab budget, we know it would cost us approximately $96,480. This would give us a total investment in the home of the purchase price being $39,900, rehab $96,480, giving us a total investment of $136,380. What we need to ask ourselves is this: how much can we get for the home once we sell it? And what is our ROI? What is our return on investment? Now, in order for us to find out what our return on investment is going to be, we have to do the following. What we need to do is find out what are the most recent comps in the area. Now, comps stands for comparables. So what other houses in the area sold most recently? So we have a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath home, which consisted of 1,496 square feet, sell on 8/6/18 for $380. or $254 a square foot. Now that house is only 50 feet away from the house that we're thinking about rehabbing. Okay, now this is extremely important to take in consideration. Zillow has the same house being listed or being worth $297,111 or $198 a square foot. So Zillow's price of what the house is worth currently obviously is a lot different from what the most recent purchaser of the home paid back just last August. So either that owner overpaid or Zillow is not taking in consideration almost $86,000 worth of upgrades. But regardless of what the owner paid or what Zillow states, we know that the houses in that area for a new construction are selling anywhere between $198 a square foot on the low side and $254 a square foot on the high side. So what does that mean for us? Can I have my helper, please? That the home's worth right now to build a new construction, which it would be a new construction, on 1,000 square feet, it should sell anywhere between $254,000 on the high side or $198,000 on the low side. So now let's figure out and calculate return on investment, ROI, because that's how much cash we should be making from the deal, our profit. Okay, so let's go over the return on investment breakdown. We're talking about two different prices. $254 a square foot versus $198 a square foot. Now we know that once we finish rehabbing our new home, it will be approximately 1,000 square feet. So when we multiply 1,000 square feet by these two prices, we know that our home should be worth either $254,000 on the high side or $198,000 on the low side. We already went over those numbers. So let's break it down more to get return on investment. What we need to do now is, and what I always do, is I like to be safe than to be sorry. We don't know what that house will appraise for. So what I do is I shave off 20% from the numbers I think it's going to be worth in order to get what an appraiser might think the house might be worth. So if we take off 20% from these numbers, we get an appraiser's price on the, again, taking worst case scenario, we get an appraiser's price of $203,200 on the high side versus $156,400 on the low side. You know what? Let me allow that to sink in. Okay, let's continue. So now that that's sunk in, let's take out other costs. Once we sell the house, and let's just assume that the house might go on the market for either $203,200 or $156,400, we have to subtract out realtors' commissions. Now here in New Jersey, a realtor gets 5%. So on the high side, his commission equals $10,160. On the low side, $7,820. We also have to subtract out legal costs. A lawyer might charge around $1,000. So that's no matter what price. So that $1,000 stays the same. Once we take out those costs, we have a total of going into our pocket $192,040 on the high side versus $580 on the low side. Now, let me let that sink in. But obviously we are not finished, because what we need to do, we have to subtract out what we put into the property. And so what we put into the property, we already know our total investments have been $136,380. And that is obviously on both sides, because this is what came out of our pocket. So when we subtract $192,040 from $136,380 on the high side, as well as $147,580 minus $136,380 on the low side, we get a return on investment of $55,660 on the high side versus $11,200 on the low. However, when we talk about return on investment, as investors, we like to break it down, or at least talk about it in percentage form. So in percentage form, that equals 48.8% return on our money on the high side versus an 8.2% return on our money on the low. So a lot of you guys are probably asking me, Calvin, how in the world did you get the return on investment? How did you basically switch it into a percentage form? Here, let me show you how I did it. So all you need to do is divide your profit, $55,660, into your total investment of $136,380. Multiply that answer by 100 and you will get 40.8%. Same thing on the low side at $198 a square foot. What you do is you take your return on investment, your profit, $11,200, divide that into $136,380, what you spent on the project. Multiply that answer by 100 and you'll get 8.2%. That is how we get return on investment on our deal, on our project. Now, I didn't take into consideration certain things such as carrying costs and other costs associated with ROI, because what I wanted to do is to make broad strokes, just so you guys can get a true understanding of what it takes to calculate ROI and does a deal make sense on its face. And we can see here, as far as me being an investor, I like to see on the low side my ROI equaling or being greater than at least 15%. So that is a very kind of low ROI on the low side. 8.2% really doesn't cut it. On the high side, obviously it cuts it. 50%, 40.8% return on our money. But again, I like to see on the low side something at least above a minimum of 15%. What also makes this deal bad, and we're going to have to pass on it, is that I just heard back from our agent who told me about the property. And it seems as though the owners don't want $39,900 anymore. They want $60,000 for that little piece of $60,000. That's an extra $20,000. Listen, it might make sense to do that type of investment after we run our numbers, and again, we can make at least 15% on our money on the low side. But the fact that they want an extra $20,000 now does not do it for me. So we're going to have to pass on that one and just go on to the next one. We're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs before we find the proper property to invest in. Okay, everybody, listen, we're here at a new house that we're going to look at right now, because obviously the other one fell through. So we're going to take a look at this and see if this might, suit our needs. Now, this is a little different because it is a multifamily. It's a two-family. And I know that we said that we're going to stay basically focused in on the flipping and not the landlord. But right now, if this is available and the price is right, you know what I'm saying. Okay, let's go in. Okay, as we can see, it's looking pretty good. Let's go up. Like I said, I know it's a two-family. Okay, here's the lockbox. Let me go in here. Oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, here we are inside. Let me change the view. Okay, so here's the apartment. Apartment number 1. Going in, checking it out. Okay. As you can see, people have moved out, but they left a lot of stuff here. Go around. First thing you want to do is when you enter an apartment or a house like this, a lot of times you want to look up at the ceiling and see if there's any water leaks. Anything that's going to require obviously busting down the ceilings, finding where the water's coming from, because it's usually only 2 places. Obviously a water pipe that has burst or is leaking, or a roof. So those are the things that you really want to do. Look up at the ceilings and make sure you don't see anything with water. This right here, that might have something to do with some water. But that's something we would look at on further inspection. Okay. This is the living room. Going into the dining room. All right. It's looking pretty nice in here. Nice large apartment. Nice chandelier. Again, look up at the ceilings. Make sure we don't see anything with water. Obviously, there's going to need some scraping done right there. But now we go into the kitchen. All right. Large kitchen, as you can see, is large enough for an island. So again, looking up at the ceilings. No electric in the house. Also, when you look at these houses, you always want to bring a trusted flashlight. Yeah, so you can really get a good look in the corners. Also with these houses, you want to look down at the floor, see if you see anything that's going to require extermination. If there's any roaches, rats, mice, droppings. Looks like there's something up there. All right, but again, a nice large kitchen, really nice. These are the things that people love to see, large kitchens and nice bathrooms. Okay. Coming in the back here. Here's the bathroom. Look up. Here we go. Serious water problems. Oh, we see some mold too. Yup, serious water problems. This looks like it might be water behind the walls causing that mold. Oh yeah, this is going to need obviously a whole new bathroom, a gut rehab, and find out where that water's coming from. Whoa! There it is. 20 minutes is up. The bell just said ding, ding. We gotta stop right now. You know, I had a great time, had a lot of fun, and that's what real estate investing is all about. Having a good time, having fun, because when deals come together, because you're gonna have your fair share of headaches and obstacles that you have to get over, but when it's done properly, done correctly, it's great. You have fun, you make a lot of money, you're providing a service, you're giving a product to people that, basically want it and need it. So, again, you just have to keep an open mind. You got to do things right the first time. This way, you don't get into trouble. Also, do me a big favor, guys. If you like the videos, if you like what you're seeing and hearing, subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, comment. Please ask me anything that you want, because that's why we're here. We're trying to learn together. We're trying to build our real estate portfolios together and have a great time investing in real estate. So subscribe, hit that notification button. I'm trying to get at least 1,000 subscribers so we can move on, move forward, and grow together. So until next time, happy real estate investing.